Om Gam Ganapate Namaha. Kaliyugada Kalpataru, the fifth delight, Shri Raghavendra Gurusarvabhauma. Chapter 99, the hope for the throne of Omniscience, that is Sarvajna Simhasana. As noted in previous chapters, the grandson of Shri Raghavendra Swami's elder brother, Venkana Acharya, Vasudeva Acharya, Muddu Venkata Krishnacharya, and Vijayendra Acharya, along with Raghupati, the son of Govindacharya, and Appannacharya of Bichale, and Purushottamacharya, the grandson of Sri Swamiji, studied grammar, logic, literature, and other shastras under the divine guidance of Sri Raghavendra Swami. These young scholars, who had earlier received instructions in basic literature, poetry, dharma, and introductory Vedantic texts from Venkatanarayana Acharya, their father, and Sri Lakshmi Narayana Acharya, Sri Swamiji's Purvashrama's son, were now engaged in intense Vedantic studies directly under Sri Raghavendra Swami Guru. Sri Swamiji was at the time teaching profound texts such as Nyayasudha Parimala, Chandrika Prakasha, Tarkatandava, Nyayadipa, and Nyayamrutamoda. All the students studied with great reverence and focus, and Sri Swamiji had deep affection and trust in each one of them. However, towards Muddu Venkata Krishnacharya, the third son of Venkatanarayana Acharya, Swamiji showed an exceptional love and unique maternal tenderness, so much so that every concept was taught with intense detail. Every discussion was accompanied by proofs and counterproofs, and every teaching was almost custom delivered with clarity and precision. Muddu Venkata Krishnacharya was a brilliant intellect, a man of exceptional genius, with a gift for retaining everything in a single hearing, and rich imaginative capacity. He could grasp even the most difficult sections of logic and Vedanta effortlessly. Often, when delving into the mechanics of linguistic cognition, that is Shabdabodha, and complex Nyaya theories, his insightful explanation and spontaneous reasoning would astonish both the Guru and other senior scholars. Perhaps for this reason, Sri Swamiji displayed such special affection and exclusive trust in him. But to the casual observer, this preference appeared curious, even puzzling, and raised questions. One such observer was Narayana the nephew of Sri Raghavendra Swami. Having noticed this unique affection over time, he had been quickly yearning to understand the secret behind it. One night, as Narayana was rendering Padaseva to Sri Swamiji, he mustered courage and respectfully said, "Mahaswami, I seek your permission to ask you something that had long been in my heart." Sri Raghavendra Swami Guru smiled and gently asked, "What is it, Narayana? Please speak." Narayana humbly said, "Guruvarya, I have noticed that whenever you teach, it appears to me that you are addressing your lesson especially to Chiranjeevi Muddu Venkata Krishna. Among the four grandsons, Venkana and the others, who are both your putras and your disciples, why do you express such extraordinary love only towards Muddu Venkata Krishna? Kindly bless me with your insight." Sri Swamiji smiled again and said, "Narayana, you are quite perceptive indeed. You have asked a very deep and significant question. You are our dear and faithful disciple, truly one of our innermost circle. You have long been aware of our innermost feelings. So how is it that you haven't yet discerned this matter?" Narayana responded humbly, "Swami, your grace, affection, and guidance are my greatest fortune. But what eligibility do I have to fully understand the depths of your heart? I earnestly request you to kindly reveal it to me." Sri Raghavendra Swami then spoke with compassion and solemnity. "Narayana, this seat on which we now sit is no ordinary place. It is the pure and exalted throne of divine wisdom, established by none other than Lord Hamsa, the very form of Paramatma, for the dissemination of the divine knowledge and upliftment of the world. On this sacred seat have graced themselves divine beings and saints of the highest order, immersed in devotion to the Lord. Sri Vayudeva, incarnating as Sri Madhvacharya, at the command of Sri Hari, adored this Mahapita, establishing the tradition of Tattvavada, that is the true philosophical school. The eternal Vaishnava Siddhanta, Sri Madhvacharya took in numerous disciples and initiated them into the ascetic order, thereby laying the foundation of an unbroken lineage, an eternal flow of divine wisdom. He not only established many mathas across the regions, but also ensured that this Mahasamsthana would preserve the transmit his philosophy and teachings across time. To safeguard this mission, Sri Sarvajna, the omniscient Lord, selected 4 great disciples: Padmanabha Tirtharu, Narahari Tirtharu, Madhava Tirtharu, and Akshobhya Tirtharu, all of whom were not just monks but supremely qualified scholars and truly inheritors of this legacy. Sri Madhvacharya, knowing that he would soon return to Badrikashrama, entrusted these 4 with the responsibility of preserving and spreading his philosophy through public discourses, spiritual instructions, and deep study. He personally taught them his entire corpus of writings and instructed that only these 4 successively should govern the Mahasamsthana. As per his instructions, the first 4 pontiffs, beginning with Sri Padmanabha Tirtharu, carried the torch of knowledge and ruled the spiritual kingdom with divine authority. Later, at the command of Sri Sarvajna again, Sri Jayatirtharu was initiated into the ascetic order by Akshobhya Tirtharu, and Jayatirtharu went on to compose commentaries on all of Acharya Madhva's foundational texts, strengthening the roots of our tradition. It was by his great service that our school, the Dvaita Siddhanta, stands firmly today. His disciples, Sri Vadiraja Tirtharu, further expanded the influence of the tradition. Seeing the growing needs of the world, he ordained 2 supremely gifted scholars with ascetic vows, Sri Raghavendra Tirtharu and Sri Kavindra Tirtharu, who were then consecrated as leaders of the spiritual empire. These 2 shone brilliantly, expanding the reach and brilliance of Tattvavada across the land. In the lineage of Sri Raghavendra Tirtharu arose the great Sri Vyasaraja Tirtharu, and in the line of Sri Kavindra Tirtharu, we ourselves are seated today. Sri Raghavendra Swami said, "Let us return to the main topic, Narayana. As you know, by the command of Sri Vagdevi, the blessings of our Guru, and the grace of Sri Hari, we have composed comprehensive commentaries on the works of Sri Madhvacharya, including Bhashyas, Tikas, and the new Veda Bhashyas, all of which aim to serve our Siddhanta and honor our revered Acharya. Just as Sri Madhvacharya has established his Mahasamsthana and arranged for succession through 4 qualified disciples, we too, under divine inspirations, have resolved to select 4 highly deserving individuals who will one after another uphold the spiritual empire with honor and glory. These 4, empowered by our teachings and our writings, will spread the vision and essence of Sri Madhvacharya's Dvaita Vedanta through teachings, preachings, and upholding the tradition." Naranacharya asked with great delight, "O Swamiji, how fortunate! Who are these 4 blessed souls?" Sri Raghavendra Swamigalu replied with a gentle smile, "They are none other than our dear disciples and your own younger relatives, Venkanna, Vasudeva, Muddu Venkatakrishna, and Vijayendra. We are already training them in all our works, ensuring they master them thoroughly. And not just that, we have already determined their future ascetic names and order of succession. Venkanna will become Sri Yogendra Tirtharu, our direct successor. He will be followed by Vasudeva as Sri Surendra Tirtharu, and by Muddu Venkatakrishna as Sri Sumatindra Tirtharu, and finally Vijayendra as Sri Upendra Tirtharu. It is the will of Sri Moolarama and Sri Madhvacharya himself that henceforth our own family lineage shall continue the leadership of this great samsthana. However, Swamiji continued, just like Sri Madhvacharya did not grant ascetic initiation to all 4 disciples at once, we too shall first give the Paramahamsa Ashrama to Venkanna alone, naming him our successor. The remaining three will ascend one after another in the order and names we have just shared. Then came the most moving revelation. Among these four, our Muddu Venkatakrishna is a specially great soul, a recipient of extraordinary blessings from Sri Hari and Sri Vayu. He will rise to unparalleled fame, unmatched in defeating rival doctrines, establishing and defending the Dvaita philosophy, delivering powerful discourses, authoring profound and deep granthas, and receiving the admiration and honors of kings and emperors. His voice will echo like a divine conch, proclaiming Dvaita Vijaya across the land. Through him, our granthas will shine with unprecedented glory, and the Mahasamsthana will achieve immortal fame. His reputation will spread far and wide, and he will be revered as Sakapurusha, a divine being among men. The very name of Mahasamsthana will one day be associated with him. And finally, Sri Raghavendra Swamiguru leaned in and said with a soft solemnity, "Now, let me tell you a secret, Narayana. You are aware that we wrote many of our granthas while residing in Udupi, aren't you?" Narayana, "Yes, Mahaswami, I know very well. You composed Nyaya Muktavali, Tantra Deepika, Chandrika Prakasha, and the Parimala, all while residing in Udupi." Sri Raghavendra Swamiguru, "Yes, Narayana, we composed those very granthas specially for our Muddu Venkatakrishna, that is, our future Sri Sumatinda Tirtharu. Your question about why we shower such special affection on him, this is your answer." On hearing this, Narayana Acharya was overwhelmed with emotion. Tears of bliss filled his eyes. Narayana, "O Mahaswami, truly you are the Mahamahima. Your commitment to this Mahasamsthana, your foresight and your divine planning, it reveals your supreme command over past, present and future. Indeed, our Muddu Venkatakrishna is exceedingly blessed." Swamiji, seeing his sincerity, smiled and gently warned, "Narayana, you have always been close to our heart. It is due to that intimate bond of love and trust that I have shared this inner secret with you. Let it remain confidential." At this point, the narrator turns to address the readers and devotees directly. It is important to clarify a point that may arise in the minds of careful readers of the Sri Raghavendra Vijaya Mahakavya. In the Kavya, authored by Sri Narayana Acharya, that is Sri Raghavendra Swami's nephew and disciple, it is explicitly mentioned that Sri Raghavendra Swamiguru composed Tantra Deepika, Nyaya Muktavali, Chandrika Prakasha and Parimala with the intention of aiding Sri Sumatinda Tirtharu. Now, since Sumatinda Tirtharu only became Pitadipati 32 years after those works were composed, how could Narayana Acharya mention Sumatindra by name ahead of time? The answer lies in this very revelation by Sri Raghavendra Swamiguru. As described in the previous chapter, Swamiji himself had disclosed to Narayana Acharya the succession plan, the chosen names for the disciples, and their future greatness and roles. Thus, Narayana Acharya, being privy to this divine secret, was not speculating, but accurately recounting a future already known to him due to the grace and revelation bestowed by his Guru. By stating that these granthas were composed for Sumatinda Tirtharu, Narayana Acharya confirms Swami's omniscience, honors the divine plan, and expresses his own rare fortune in being a witness to such Parama Uyatra, that is, deep historic truth. This passage highlights Sri Raghavendra Swami's divine foresight, his strategic planning for the endurance of Dvaita Vedanta, and the rare fortune of disciples like Narayanacharya who were trusted enough to hear and carry forward such sacred truths. Hari Om. Om Sri Krishnarpanamastu.